That's all I need to know. Make sure you subscribe to his channel. A lot of interesting scientifically adjacent stuff on his channel. There's a link in the description. But right now, let's head over into the newsroom.
Stop the music. It's time for news.
Everything you'd ever want to know about news in the drone community. Let's talk to Jeff Sills. Tell us what's happening, buddy.
Well, let's see. Starting off the news for this week, we have the Rockaway Beach, Oregon. Rescuers used a remote-controlled water rescue drone.
Hold on. What are we hearing in your newsroom? What?
The other reporters, it sounds like.
Oh, it sounds like a group of young reporters in the other... in the
journalist team?
Yeah.
No.
In the journalist bullpen.
We have guests visiting.
So. Oh, okay. I have a little bit of video to explain what is going on at your house. As just before we went to air, before we went to stream, Jeff accidentally left the microphone on, and I started recording. And let's take a listen as me and Chris discuss what is happening in Jeff's house moments ago.
Where does this go?
So that's your future. A house full of screaming.
Let's see how the one goes, and we'll start from there.
Good times. Yeah, I would have a sugar bowl full of Ritalin.
Oh yeah, I'm not above children's Benadryl. Just a.
I need an hour. Go ahead and drink some sherry.
Yeah.
Didn't they do that back in the day? They put a little bourbon on their...
Mm-hmm. I mean, like, when I was in Brazil, it was pretty common. They'd put, like, milk with a little bit of whiskey.
Why not? You know, newly developed brain cells. Who cares?
Mom needs a little peace and quiet.
Yeah. Mom should have thought about that 9 months ago. So,
oh, man.
All right, now back to our regularly scheduled us. Hey, and we're back.
Oh, I see that.
Wow. Back to the noisy newsroom.
That was smooth, Ken.
That
was really smooth.
I appreciate that, yeah.
Yeah. So, rescuers used a remote-controlled water rescue drone on the Oregon coast Monday to save 3 people swept out to sea by a rip current. The drone is called Emily, which stands for Emergency Integrated Life-Saving Lanyard. The reason that this is really interesting is that it was developed in the United States, and it uses a wire-based lanyard system. They fly the line out to the people, and the people then can grab the line and be pulled to shore by people on shore. And it worked perfectly. It saved 3 people on Monday, and I thought it was worth mentioning.
Very good.
So next in the news, do we have any people in the audience that are wrench turners that like to work on cars? I know, Chris, you like to work on cars.
Yeah.
The next one's for you. A salvage yard in the valley has an acres of vintage cars.
What we do here is we are an antique wrecking yard that offers parts and projects for cars from 1930s to some 80s, domestic only. Our inventory is mainly going to be classic cars. We do everything from Chevys, Ford, Dodge, Packards, Kaisers, you name it. If it's American, we've got a little bit of every make and model and year. Well, customers are welcome to come here, walk around. We often get customers from all over the world, and they're welcome to walk the yard. We pull everything for them, so they just kind of take a stroll, take the self-guided tour, and if they find something they like, we kind of work out a deal with them, pull it, and we ship it if they need it, or they take it with them.
Cool. That is cool, and I heard that every part comes with a free tumbleweed. So that's a bonus. Yeah.
Where was that?
That particular area is located, you had to ask me, Desert Valley Auto Parts, so Phoenix, Arizona.
Okay, I just noticed the 105 degrees listed there.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, I saw someone mention it in the chat. Super Chat is always on, and I've been approved as a channel to have super stickers too. So if you like stickers, and you know you do.
Stickers, I like stickers, yes I do. Stickers, stickers, I like stickers more than you. Stickers.
Super stickers, right now.
Right. So next in the news, we have sheriff's deputies used an unmanned aerial system to assist in looking for an elderly man with symptoms of dementia. The patient was treated for minor cuts and bruises, but otherwise unharmed. And one of their detectives sent out this video of them locating the gentleman.
That's great. I'm really glad that it had a happy ending, because that can very often turn tragic. As I found out about 4 years ago, I was called upon by my community to search for a dementia patient, and he was later found deceased.
Oh
So
man.
it's good that they found him, and that it was not a cold day as it was here when we were looking for the other guy. So that's great.
Well, it's another good example of the police departments being able to diversify and use these drones to be able to help in situations like this. So,
Yep.
All right. So next in the news, a Nafi or parrot was in the news this week. Everybody was told that they were getting out of the consumer drone business. Parrot has since released a press release identifying that they are not exiting the consumer drone business. They're going to be getting rid of a lot of their mini drones. They're going to be discontinuing those, but most of their efforts are going to be put into the next generation Anafi platform.
That's great. And by the way, Tony Stage or Stage, I'm sorry, Tony, $5 super sticker says keep it up. And he's pumping some weights. That's cool. Thank you so much. Just want to remind everybody, if you're in the chat, make sure that you have live chat enabled and not top chat, because top chat will cut out some of the chats and you won't see them. And that becomes important during contest time. So, who has a parrot? I don't own one.
Yeah, I don't either.
But
I don't have one either.
I heard they're really good. I've flown one before. It's good company.
Yeah, I flew one at Spin Up. That was a great opportunity to just try a whole bunch of different drones all at one time. Because, I mean, there had to have been, 100 drones there?
I actually think that this looks a little bit better. What's the one? Is the Enterprise? What is it? That has the thermal?
Yeah, they have the Mavic Enterprise.
Yeah, it has the FLIR on it. That actually looks like better resolution than the Mavic.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and the thing is that was it Billy Kyle is going to be your guest next week. He has a parrot. You can, I guess, grill him for information.
Yeah.
So,
how you doing
next-
okay in the newsroom there? I keep hearing, I call his kid Diaper Boy because every time I see him on the Skype, he's wearing diapers. He's about 11 years old. It's probably time to move on from the diaper.
Yeah, they're in there having the steaks that I'm anxiously getting ready to go in.
Oh, let's blow through the news.
All right, so next in the news, it's coming up to the Atlantic 2019 hurricane season, and members of the Florida Task Force Urban Search Team had I guess, what's the best way of describing this? It would be a disaster exercise, working with the Miami Beach Police Fire Department and several of the local universities. They did a full-scale incident response exercise where they did island maritime search operations, aerial reconnaissance, damage assessments, situational awareness for live streaming. So, giving rescuers on the ground live streaming, mapping, and also force protection overwatch, all to be done by drones, which in the past have been done either by helicopters or fixed-wing aircraft. So a great opportunity to see drones be used more productively after any kind of major disaster.
Very good.
And if I'm not mistaken, this week we had the big celebration for the Apollo moon landing. The Kennedy Space Center decided that they were going to have a great drone performance done by studio drones.
This is fantastic. I have yet to see a cluster drone show in person. Oh, I'm so jealous. Look at that.
Wow.
Yeah, they used 300 drones to mark the 50th anniversary of the Apollo 11 mission.
We're pretty cool as a nation, aren't we? I mean,
Yeah.
I know there's people in other countries watching, but Sometimes I look at this stuff and I'm like, we're pretty damn cool in the US of A. I mean, that dude was wearing mascara, but still pretty cool. Hey, to each their own. You want to wear mascara, you do it. I got no problem with it. Sorry.
What drone was that?
It's Studio Drift is the company that makes it. It's an in-house drone that they developed to be able to do these. It's not Intel, so you can see now that a lot of other companies are jumping into this market to be able to do these displays, and it's going to replace fireworks. It really is. So
if they can figure out how to make them make a really loud boom sound, because it's the reports that we really like, right?
Well, I guess if they all fell at once, then okay.
Okay.
So next in the news, we have a gentleman that has been, I guess, using drones in the agricultural field for moving through crops. It's basically called scouting, and it's what they use to determine areas to be able to plant. It's a difficult task to do on foot, so using a drone.
I would fly into, I'd just take it to a field, put it in the air. It kind of take a visual of what the field would look like. If there's a problem, especially on corn when it's taller, you cannot see exactly what's a problem area if you're just walking up to it. So if you have the drone in the air, you could kind of see a little bit further down, and it'll give you an idea where to walk and scout and find out what the problem is. Also with these cameras, it will show you the different heights. So we have elevation mapping done on your field too.
Wow.
That's neat.
Yeah, really, really cool stuff. And agriculture is, of course, one of the burgeoning areas that we're seeing drone usage grow. So
I just have to mention Bob Casey. He says 289 viewers. Hit that like button. I like that. Share, tell a friend. Let's get Ken Heron more subs. I agree, Bob. Yes, Bob. That would be cool. There's
somebody needs a silver play button.
I do, man. I want to be in the club.
Every time we're on the phone, I want it so bad.
I really do. It's all I'm living for at this point, which is pathetic, right? There's other stuff to do in the world, like find someone to love me. I don't care. Give me the silver play button, then I'll find someone to love me.
You're gonna make it.
I hope so, man. Thanks, Bob.
All right. So, on the basis of agricultural being, I guess, a growing, burgeoning place for drones, also in wildfires and firefighting, we've seen drones really start taking off. So, I guess the fire departments now are considering drones to be just as useful as having a chainsaw. The drone usage has increased by 184% in the past 2 years, just in Arizona, for fighting fires.
Very cool.
This is an example of one of their infrared cameras that they're using, and they've gone out and they're using it to detect hotspots. Normally, you'd have to have guys on the ground walking around looking for these hotspots, or having a helicopter, which can get really expensive, flying around. And of course, now they can just put up a drone and start looking around and finding the hotspots with the FLIR cameras.
You remember, and they're still around, these fire towers that you see all over the place? And they're all busted up and rusty, and some of them are leaning like this with no steps, so that people don't go up there and kill themselves. But that's how they used to do it.
Yeah.
That was instead of an expensive helicopter. They'd have a dude up there just, okay, no fires there. So
no smoke.
Right. Thank goodness for drones, right?
Oh, yeah. Thank goodness for drones. And so that leads into the next story with the Lincolnshire Police Department. They used a drone recently to find a high-risk person. This was a person that I guess was a danger to the area, and they used the drone to find him in the dark. This is the video footage from their drone used at the Boston Police Department.
So cool.
That's really cool.
And of course, what's interesting about this is that with the helicopter, you can hear the helicopter. So as the perp, you know you're being followed by a helicopter. But the drones, if they fly high enough, you can't hear them that well. And so it's a great, I guess, advantage to the police departments.
That's true. You know, I've been asked so many times that this area that I'm in is an agricultural farming area, and so there's a lot of hunters here in West Tennessee, USA, and they ask me all the time. Forgive me, I'm going to do the West Tennessee accent. Hold on, I need some accompaniment. I'm not making fun of them. This is merely what I hear as a Yankee when they speak. Forgive me. Hey, Ken, can you take your drone up high enough where the deer can't hear it? And then I can blast them in the head and then put that head on my wall and then eat the meat and make jerky. Can I do that, Ken? Thank you. Thank you very much.
That was good.
Thank you. Thank you.
I was like, where'd Ken go for a minute?
I'm an expert at dialects.
The timing also with Jeff, I'm assuming that's your wife?
Yes. Yes, my wife snuck in here during the solo there. All right, so next in the news, there was a fire at the Winston Green factory in Birmingham, as Ken told me to pronounce it.
Yes, it's not Birmingham in the UK. It's Birmingham. Birmingham.
More than 70 firefighters tackled the blaze in Wilson Green when recycling material was, on site caught to fire. This footage, of course, was used by the fire department so that they could determine where they needed to place the hoses, because, of course, you know, with the flames and the smoke, it was difficult to see where the fire actually was.
Again, drones to the rescue.
Drones to the rescue.
Yeah.
Oh yes. Is there enough for everybody, Jeff?
You kidding me? You guys can't have any of my steaks. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah, I could tell that you're distracted, Jeff, and and I have to apologize for doing this to you. I mean, I want to get back through the news, but just trying to, let you know what you have to look forward to when you're done there. Oh, is that a blooming onion? I think it is.
Ooh,
yummy. What's next?
Blooming onion right now.
All right. So next in the news, we have a gentleman that's come up with a gasoline generator prototype. And the interesting thing here is that the gasoline generator is used in the center of the drone to provide power to the motors that would normally be, controlled by a battery. This is a really interesting new technology.
We have it mounted on its side as we are going to have it in the final module. The servo here controls the throttle. The fuel is obvious. The two power supplies that you see on the other end are to provide power to the servo, which is controlled by a simple pulse width modulation control here, hobby control, just for hand, just for testing. And the other power supply here provides electrical input for the ignition system, because as I said, there's no magneto. Finally, there's an RPM gauge here that reads the RPM of the engine at 1/10 of the actual RPM. If you see 300, it's at 3,000 RPM. The whole setup here was really originally just put together so that we could test the motor, we could adjust the carburetor for proper operation at the right speed, and just make sure that everything holds together.
Whoa. Beavis, you gotta get a whiff of this.
No way, butthole!
So cool.
Yeah, you kind of lost me on that. You kind of lost me on that one. I kind of started drooling on myself after the first 10 seconds. I mean, I consider myself intelligent, but that dude is an evil genius.
It is a gasoline generator engine light enough to fit into a drone that is going to be really interesting. That's technology I look forward to following.
Absolutely.
All right, so the next story is about two brothers who decided that they were going to turn themselves in after they interfered with a life flight.
Oh, yes.
First responders on the ground saw a drone like this flying right above the scene. They immediately notified the crew in the air, that it could put their landing at risk. A horrific two-vehicle crash after a blown stop sign at this intersection that connects Highway 11 and Highway J left 3 people badly hurt.
Last night we came outside to enjoy the weather, and at about 9:15 we heard some brakes screeching and a loud crash.
In the pitch dark, first responders on the ground tell me they saw red flashing lights from a private drone.
From Highway 11 Command, just be aware that we do have a drone in the air over our scene with both birds on the ground. We're trying to take care of that situation right now.
How does that make you feel?
Well, I'm shocked, and I guess it's good for everybody to know that that is a problem, and you know, it's imperative to let the emergency vehicles do their job.
Flight for Life spokeswoman Tammy Chapman says the drone operator put response times at risk when mere minutes matter.
If a drone is there and they cannot locate the operator, we can't lift off. So that can delay that patient getting to the definitive care that they need.
The Racine County Sheriff's Department says all 3 victims remain in serious condition. Chapman reminds drone operators never to interfere with law enforcement or an emergency response.
First responders are trying to do their jobs. Whether or not you have aircraft coming in, those folks need to focus on their mission at hand. And drones can cause a distraction.
Law enforcement from multiple agencies tell me this drone operator still hasn't been caught. Anyone who is caught deliberately or recklessly interfering with an emergency response could be fined up to $20,000.
Why would you do that? Think about it this way, because I don't know if this will ever abate. I don't think this will ever stop. Think about, would you do, if it was your family that was in the accident, would you fly over your family and take pictures? You wouldn't, because you would have respect for them.
Yeah.
So have respect for other people's families. Good God. Just common sense.
Interfering with light flight is extremely serious. And the 2 individuals that were responsible for flying the drone did turn themselves in. They were ages 24 and 19. So, and they will be, dealt with, I guess, accordingly by the officials. So
people that don't have experience with drones, they get their new drone. They want to, of course, how high, how fast, how far, and then they fancy themselves a newsman, I guess, and they don't think that if you're 20 feet away from a helicopter, anything's going to happen, right?
Yeah.
But that is a near miss according to the aviation industry, and that leaves less time for reaction from the pilots. It's ridiculous. Just stop and think. I mean, me telling you to have common sense isn't going to suddenly create common sense. It's just me bitching and moaning.
Yeah. Well, I mean, kudos to them, though, for even turning themselves in, because they didn't have to. I mean, obviously but by that I mean they were, they didn't know who they were. They could have just said, learned our lesson and stayed quiet.
Right, but once they turn themselves in, then they can post the footage to their Facebook. I guess. I don't know. Hey! Thank you, Jocafe 83. What, 99 cents? I'll take it. Thank you so much. Super chat. Appreciate it.
All right, so now that's the negative side. Let's get some positive news, and this is the one that I've been looking forward to being able to share with everybody. So those of us that are recreational flyers, Lance, the FAA has finally opened up Lance for recreational pilots to be able to use that system to get authorized flight within airspace that normally they wouldn't have been able to fly in before. You can use the Lance system through Kitty Hawk, UAS Sidekick, and Air Maps.
That is fantastic, and I know there's a lot of recreational hobbyists that are excited they're going to be able to use that. Yep. And now I believe the Jingle Singers
Bonehead of the Week.
It's our new segment called the Bonehead of the Week. It's a wacky, zany news segment that has drones involved in it somehow. And what is our Bonehead of the Week this week, Jeff Sills?
The Bonehead of the Week will be the Tray drone that allows you to link your drone with Alexa to deliver stuff to you in the kitchen.
It's the height in laziness. Haha, check it out. It's a real actual thing.
Alexa, bring mir mein Essenspäckchen.
That's right.
Holy crap.
We'll just blow all your napkins and everything around.
pretty sure she could have walked over there a
Yup.
little bit faster.
Uh-huh. Just because you can do something doesn't mean you should. This looks like one of those, if it were in black and white, it'd be one of those from the 50s, the kitchen of the future. So stupid.
I saw this the first thing that
Oh, wait. Oh, we got more food coming.
Oh, flowers.
So,
yes, because obviously you can tell Alexa what you want next, and in the closet it magically puts that on the drone.
Right, because something they didn't mention was the hand and arm attachments you attach magnetically to Alexa, and then she will put that stuff on top of the drone.
Or that's a $3 million refrigerator that's completely robotic and automated.
Right. And it automatically...
Oh, yeah, it's sliced pizza with a Coke Zero.
And it makes your pizza ice cold, too, by the time it gets to the table. So this is a real thing. They have a website and everything, and that is this week's...
Bonehead of the Week.
Awesome. Jeff, thank you so much for all of the wonderful news. So tell us a little bit more about your steak.
My
Is
steak
it still there?
For me oh yeah, it's still there, and I guarantee you, my steak. My wife makes amazing steaks.
Well, we'll let you get to
I
it.
am really looking forward to getting that. Make sure that, of course, you guys go out to Dronebook. All the news is now flowing into Dronebook. The Drone Wiki site is being discontinued, so all the news that we use in the show and any stories that don't make it get posted in the Dronebook.
Okay, excellent. Thank you so much, Jeff. Love you, mean it.
Thanks for stopping by. Now get out.
All right. Well, he goes off and mutes his mic and eats his steak. We can finally have a minute of peace from Jeff. My goodness. Children are loud, and you're about to have a kid, right?
Yeah. Let's see. What are we? 8 weeks away? 6 weeks away. September 15th is the due date.
Wow. And you have come up with a name. It's not Kenita.
It's not. I'm sorry. Kenita is not on the table anymore.
Can you give us a hint?
Yeah, I can tell you the name.
Oh, what is it?
It's Logan.
Logan, really?
Yeah.
The noise that we just heard from Jeff was made by a kid named Logan. That's his kid's name.
Well,
So you can change your mind?
I'll take. Yeah.